Awesome. Sounds great. So it looks like a few more folks are joining in, so I'll let them in as we get started. But again, welcome to everyone to another college transition webinar series. Today we'll be talking all about advising. For those of you who don't know, my name is Mahra Suhail. I'm one of the first-year senior admission counselors here at Elmhurst University Office of Admission. I've been working here. It's going to be 3 years this August, which is crazy. So I have been, very familiar with this cycle. I've done it with so many students and helping them sign up for courses, take their placement tests and all that good stuff. So I got a lot of information to share with you guys, and join with me. I have a nice, awesome special guest, and that is one of our rising seniors, Hiba Anis. Hiba, you want to go ahead and introduce yourself?
Yes, hi. So yeah, I'm a rising senior. I'm majoring in special education. So I've been here for almost 4 years now. I came in as a first year, so I did go through the advising as a first year. And so I do have a refresher. I'm super involved on campus. I love all the great things that Elmhurst has to offer, which you'll learn about and see soon once you guys get here. But a couple of things include working in the Office of Admissions. So I work at the front desk. I do a couple of tours as a student ambassador. And so, and then in the advising office, I work as a peer advisor. So we're going to talk about that throughout, but I am a peer advisor. So there's lots of fun things with that. And then I'm part of a couple of clubs on campus too, student government, union board, Muslim Student Association, and all that fun stuff. So there's a lot, lots to do here. And so I'm really excited to talk to you guys about advising today.
Amazing. Yes, Hiba is truly a special gem here on campus. With all of her involvement, she truly goes above and beyond in helping students here, whether they're current students or incoming students. So, I'm very, very excited to have her joining us today in this series episode, because being a peer advisor, she's going to be telling you all the ins and outs and all the advice and everything you need to know to better prepare for your advising appointment. Okay. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. Awesome. All right, so what exactly is an academic advising appointment, right? So hopefully majority of you who are joined with us today have already signed up and RSVP'd for your advising date, meaning you went into your virtual Rooster portal and you selected a date that you have decided to either come to campus or virtually connect with your academic advisor in hopes of registering for your courses this fall. So just to kind of give you a distinction quickly between us admission counselors and academic advisors. So myself as an admission counselor, we are here to help you through your next steps and making sure you are all set and attending Elmhurst University. You've got your deposits in, you've got your placement tests in, all your health records in, right? We're here to help you come here. But when you officially start here as a full-time student or part-time student, you will be working closely with an academic advisor for the next 4 years, 3 years, 5 years, however many years you'll be here at Elmhurst, right? So they are now going to be your go-to person in terms of registering for courses every semester, making sure you're on track to graduation. So those are the guys you're going to lean on when you're officially here at Elmhurst. So just wanted to quickly share those distinctions. So we're going to kind of go through this fun little chart that, I prepared. So obviously, your academic advising appointment, I want you to explore your interests, values, passions, and goals, right? Yes, you're going to be signing up for courses within your major and potentially minor, but also know that electives is part of your degree. So if you're interested in art or theater like I was, be sure to integrate some of those courses within your schedule as well. Learn about all the different Elmhurst University majors, right? We have over 70 majors and 50 minors to choose from. So friends on this call who are undeclared, that is okay, right? We have tons of options and subjects and programs for you to pursue. And all you have to do is kind of share what interests you tend to gravitate towards, and your advisor is happy to steer you in the right direction. Make sure you're on track to earn your Elmhurst degree, right? A lot of you might hear this already. If not, you're going to, especially when you come to Elmhurst. not everyone graduates in exactly 4 years, right? It takes an extra semester. I know it did for me, or sometimes you graduate early. It just depends. But all that matters is that you are on track, right? You are working closely with your advisor to make sure that you're taking all the appropriate courses each semester. Making sure you're meeting the requirements for the integrated curriculum, such as our general education program. And now I have a separate slide to highlight what about the integrated curriculum. So don't you worry, I will be speaking on that a little bit more today. Choose appropriate courses for registration, of course. Make good use of college resources and centers of distinction. So obviously we have our whole advising office here to assist you in signing up for courses, but be sure to, throughout your time here at Elmhurst, take advantage of the centers and resources here to help you navigate throughout your college experience. And of course, schedule, right? Learn about important advising information and timelines, which is what we will get into today. Okay, so the requirements, integrated curriculum, right? So for first year students, for all my first year folks joined on this call right now, writing and first year seminar, right? So those are right off the bat required courses that every single first year student is going to take their first semester here at Elmhurst University, right? So what does that look like? A writing course is most likely the English class that we are referring to. So you're most likely going to be sitting in an English 105 or English 106 class your first semester. So that is a basic necessity course you need in order to graduate. And then first year seminar. So you're probably thinking, what is that? I've never heard of that before. What does this mean? This is an amazing course designed just for first year students like yourself, right? Incoming freshmen. There's different themes to it, and I'm sure Hiba's gonna kind of highlight that on a little bit more, but there's a lot of different themes to it, but is essentially there to help you get better adjusted and adapt yourself into the whole college lifestyle and what that means, right? So that's it's really fun, and every student has to take that for their first semester. Hiba, is there anything that you'd like to add on in terms of first year seminar for our students here?
Yeah, I love first year seminar classes. I love talking about it just because it's so fun. So it is all first years in your class. And so it's a great way to make friends and find people of interest because you get to pick the topic of this class. There's a whole page full of different topics, and it doesn't have to do anything with your major. A lot of people pick topics, outside of it just to learn something new. We have a whole bunch of different, you can do something in healthcare, history, social aspects, all that fun stuff, sciences. There are a bunch of different classes. And so it's a topic of interest. It's one semester and a whole full class of first years, which really helps you make friends. I met some of my best friends there, and I met some people who I later roomed with and things like that. So that's what makes it fun because you're all just kind of adapting. And then there are two professors who teach every first year seminar class. One of them is your advisor then for the spring semester, which gets a little funky, but we'll talk about that. So you meet your advisor for the spring semester. And then the other one is your college life coach. And college life coaches are one of the best resources this campus offers. They are amazing people, and they really help you figure out what it is you want to do at Elmhurst, how to get there. I remember I told my college life coach, I really, really want to be on an Elmhurst ad one day. And I've seen my face pop up on an Instagram post once or twice from the Elmhurst page. And I think that was my biggest accomplishment in the last 4 years. And she remembered that. She said, yeah, I saw you on the Instagram, you made it. So that's what makes it fun. And they meet with you, they talk to you about how you're feeling, if you're getting homesick. You have those open conversations while also learning how a college course and how fast paced it is or how it feels. And so you get kind of a your foot in the water kind of thing with that first year seminar class along with your other classes. So it's a really fun class and really great, resourceful.
Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for speaking, so highly of this, Hiba, and thank you so much for sharing your experience, especially with your life coach. Again, it just goes to show that Elmhurst University is here to go above and beyond to help our students. Obviously, getting started is one thing, but getting a whole class dedicated to getting you well adjusted into the university lifestyle, really helps build confidence and help you break out of your comfort zone and your shell, just so you can better advocate for yourself, right? Hiba had a goal. She wanted to be on one of our advertisements, and I can attest to this. I have seen many Instagram ads seeing Hiba's shining face. So things can happen. Dreams can come true here, which is really cool. And to top it off, you're going to get college credit for this class, right? So it's counting towards your degree or your overall bachelor's degree, right? So it's mandatory. So every student has to take it. So definitely have fun with it during your advising appointment when you upon selection. Moving forward, fulfill any proficiencies that are needed, right? So, for example, say you've only taken 1 year of foreign language in high school or community college. Here at Elmhurst University, we do require at least 2 years. So you want to make sure that you do sign up for an extra year of Spanish if you've only taken 1 year, stuff like that. Your advisor will guide you through meeting the major requirements, right? So here at Elmhurst University, we are a liberal arts university. So no matter what major you are pursuing, whether that be education like Hiba or you're a nursing major or psychology, every student still has to make sure that they're fulfilling every other areas to fulfill their bachelor's degree, right? And we'll get into that a little bit too on the upcoming slides. You'll also meet an experimental, learning requirement off campus. There's so many opportunities for internship, folks. Internships, study abroad, also student teaching. There's so much that happens even beyond what we offer here on campus due to our partnerships and connections outside. So definitely take advantage of that because your professors and advisors and so forth are going to be, they're well connected with a lot of the folks, whether that's in the city of Chicago or even out of state. One of our students, I remember she was in our law program here at Elmhurst, and she studied away at Washington, D.C. and did an internship for Congress, right? So it was just so cool and fascinating. She was able to do so much all in one while still being on track to graduation. So possibilities are endless, right? We have options such as senior capstone, right? So that's more research-based heavy. Not every major has that, but obviously some do. And then areas of knowledge and skills and values tag, which is what I want to highlight in these next couple slides. So what exactly are areas of knowledge? So you're going to be hearing this a lot for the next 4 years or 2 years, right? So this is essentially our fancy way of saying gen eds, right? So they are broad and interdisciplinary, developed around specific objectives, and you'll take one in each category, right? So we've got a class within ethics, religion, literature, fine arts, history, social and political analysis, behavioral sciences, physical science, and life science, right? So these are all your basic religion class or philosophy class or biology, chemistry. So all of these courses, and again, you only have to take one within each of these categories, need to be taken in addition to your majors and electives, right? So again, that's when your academic advisor is going to come into play. They're going to be there to assist you to make sure that you're not overwhelmed with taking only gen eds one semester or only your nursing classes your one semester. No, they're going to make sure it's all nicely spaced out. So you're going to take maybe one AOK. That's what we refer to as the areas of knowledge to consolidate it. So one AOK, maybe one elective, and maybe 2 of your major related courses. So for example, your first semester for all of our first year students, you're for sure going to take an FYS class. You're for sure going to take an English class, and then you can take an AOK and then maybe something within your major. Boom, you got yourself a full-time course load already, right? So your academic advising appointment is going to be a lot easier than you think. But again, this is going to be spaced out within the next couple, your however many years you'll be here. And the other portion I wanted to highlight is the skills and values development. So aspects of courses, just like with AOKs, you may get these courses within your major plan. So some may double dip. So what do we mean by that? Say you're taking, a philosophy class, or you're taking a math class, and that's one of your major or your AOKs. That could potentially fall into your quantitative reasoning tag as well too. And boom, you took one class and it crossed off a AOK and a skills and development course. So there's a lot of overlapping and double dipping. And Hiba, if you want to share kind of your experience and something you've seen among students and how easy and efficient that is, I'd love for you to kind of share and speak to that.
Yeah, no, I remember sitting in my advising and looking at like my degree audit and saying like, oh my God, these are a lot of classes and I'm never gonna graduate on time. And then I like talked to my advisor and I was like, I don't know how I'm gonna get any of this done. Am I gonna have to take summer classes? And she was like, well, I hope you know that your O tag and your Q tag and all your oral communication, your quantitative reasoning, all of that gets covered when you're in major, when you have to take a required course. And I was like, oh, so don't take it now. And she's like, yeah, exactly. And so that's kind of how it's going to go in advising. You are going to get a lot of relief because a lot of these tags that fall within your major will get fulfilled in your junior senior year when you're in those major oriented classes. So you're really looking at the ones that may not fall in that. Like for me, intercultural global engagement didn't fall in one of those. And so I really focused on looking at one of those tags in my first year to fill that tag. And that's kind of how we go through with you, with your peer advisor and your real advisor. You'll go through which tags you don't need to focus on your first 2 years, because in your junior, senior year, they will at some point be fulfilled. And so you'll always have that. And then other than that, it's really easy because it takes a lot of tags away and you feel like, and a lot of like those AOKs, you're like, all right, I can just knock this out in this semester and that semester. I can do this in J term. They offer those. And so with all of that, you have a bunch of options to feel that you can fulfill it in 4 years and not have to spend extra time just finishing those tags out.
Yeah, nicely put. Yeah, that's a great way to put it. And for those of you who may not know, but we go off of semesters here at Elmhurst. So you'll have a fall semester and a spring semester, and we do have this fun little thing called J term. So in the month of January, students can take up to only one course, and optional, and it's completely optional. You don't have to, and it's equivalent to a regular course, right? It's just accelerated and again, it's optional. Your tuition covers it. So, you have tons of semesters to look forward to integrate all of these courses. So yes, it may seem a little bit overwhelming, but that's exactly what academic advisors are for, right? To make sure you're on track and you're taking all the right courses and, you're up to speed with everything. So thank you for speaking on that, Hiba. That's awesome. And I also want to mention, if any questions arise throughout the presentation, please feel free to utilize our chat box and enter your questions in there, right? Because in the end, Hiba and I will do a mini Q&A and kind of go through any questions or concerns you guys have. We're happy to clarify for you guys. So again, please enter your questions in the chat box because we'll go through those at the end. All right, moving on. So how do you exactly secure your advising appointment, right? So you guessed it, you can go on your Elmhurst portal, but you can also go through your virtual roost, right? So if you haven't already accessed either of those, your Elmhurst portal or your virtual roost, please make sure you get that done today, right? I want to make sure that everybody can successfully log in. You know what your portal or virtual roost looks like, because you're gonna be logging into that for the next 4 years, at least your Elmhurst portal. Your virtual roost is primarily for students. If you're starting off right now, it's kind of a great virtual way to look through your checklist items, make sure you've got everything all set and deposited and everything like that. But that is where you will go to sign up for your advising date. So it will ask you, please select 2 to 3 dates that work best for you. And then from there, once you make your submission, the advising office will reach back out to you and confirm a specific date within those dates that you selected, which one works, what time you will be expected to have your advising date, and so forth. Okay. But obviously, before we make your advising appointment, for any folks in here who have not deposited yet, which I hope everyone already has, please make sure you've got your deposit in, right? So what does that exactly mean? Your $100 tuition deposit is essentially securing your spot here at Elmhurst, meaning, yes, I am officially a Blue Jay. I have committed to Elmhurst University. I am coming here for the next however many years, right? So once you make your deposit, once you've committed to the university, then you can, go ahead and sign up for your advising date and so forth. And for those of you who are in here still on the edge and not sure if you want to commit to Elmhurst, reach out to me, right? Reach out to us admission counselors, because we can do a cost payment breakdown with you and kind of look at your finances and any loose end questions that you have to help you clarify all of that. And this tuition button can be found in your, yet again, Elmhurst portal under the TouchNet deposits and payments icon. Okay. Awesome, awesome. And there are several dates that you can select for advising. Obviously, some of them are already filled. So we will be showing you in the next couple slides what dates are available. So again, if you haven't already, please sign up first as soon as you can. There are placement tests that we will need you to take at least, 7 days prior to your academic advising appointment. And watch out for an email in the next 24 to 48 hours within your appointment date and time for further instructions on your advising date. And Hiba, is there anything that you'd like to add on this slide?
I do have some things, but it'll come up later. So
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, it'll all kind of wrap together.
Beautiful, sounds good. So I kind of talked a little bit about placement tests, so I'm going to highlight that right now. So for those of you who haven't already, you have to take the placement tests, right? So, and those placement tests will not appear in your Blackboard if you haven't signed up for advising, right? So we try to make it as easy and efficient as and possible for you, so you can do everything chronologically. You can't take your tests if you haven't signed up for your advising date. So let's get that done first. Knock that out. Once you have a date solidified, log back into your Elmhurst portal, go to the Blackboard icon, because then you will see the placement tests available to you to take. So there are going to be 3. First years particularly, the math is a requirement, right? So the math test, all of you have to take that. And this is essentially just so your advisors can place you in the appropriate math course, right? You only need to take at least 1 year for any general student who's getting their bachelor's degree of math. Obviously, if you're doing engineering or physics, you probably have to take a lot more math classes, so get ready for that. But this is solely just so we can place you in an appropriate course. The writing placement test is optional, and then so is the world language. But I do encourage all of my students who have taken 2 years of Spanish or German or French to take the world language test, because say, for example, in the middle of the school year, you do decide to pick up a world language minor, or you have to take a class that requires you to have a placement test done. We already have that on the record, right? We can just easily place you in the appropriate course if needed. And it's nice to have another language under your belt, right? But for those of you who've taken Italian or Chinese or Arabic, 2 years of that, unfortunately, there's not a world language placement test for you, so you don't have to take it. You can just pass that and then, work with your advisor to see if there's any of those classes available if you do wish to further continue taking those courses. Okay. And then moving forward, so each test, it does take about an hour or potentially 2. So please be sure to allocate an appropriate amount of time for each test, right? Don't give yourself just 30 minutes and say, oh, I have a party to attend to afterwards. Let me just quickly get it done in 30 minutes. No. Please make sure you're scheduling an appropriate time for yourself to take this test. And again, it's located in your Elmhurst portal in the Blackboard icon. If you go under messages, you'll see those appear. And again, they will not appear if you don't have your advising dates set. And then we encourage students to take your tests at least 7 days prior to your appointment. So for those of you who already have your advising date set, you can take your placement test as early as today, right? So just don't wait till the last minute, because again, we have a lot of paperwork that we're doing behind the scenes to make sure that your schedule is going to be, your advising day will be as smooth as possible. We do have virtual advising, and I'll show you in a little bit of how many more dates we have left. But your advisor is going to be calling you, and the appointments are going to be relatively quick, right? So not super long, but that's, the pros of having a virtual appointment, especially if you're an out-of-state student or an international student. This can be very convenient for you, right? What about parents? I'm going to be very kind and generous and honest when I say this. They don't have to be there, right? This appointment is just for you. This is part of the whole process of, getting into the whole adult college lifestyle. They can stay home because there's truly, no need for them to be there, because you are the one signing up for courses, not them. But they're more than welcome to join. I know some days we have snow cones available, so if you want to come in for free snacks, that's awesome. And then I want to kind of turn things over to Hiba in terms of additional expectations and what to expect and bring for your advising date. But before I do, I just want to highlight these dates available, right? So I crossed out the ones that we've already had. So as you can see, we're kind of halfway through advising, right? We've got a few more dates left. So over on the left side, we've got our freshman dates. So all of our incoming first years. We've got July 20th, August 9th, and August 23rd as our in-person dates. And then the last and only virtual availability left for our first year students is August 19th. And then over on the right side, we've got the transfer dates, right? So we've got 2 more virtual appointments left, and then the other 2 are in person. So if you want to take a picture of this, you're more than welcome to. But again, go to your virtual roost and sign up for the advising appointment. So without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and kind of let Hiba take the floor and share with you guys what to expect in your advising appointment.
Yeah, awesome. So just a couple things. I know we talked about the placement test, and so I'm going to emphasize the 7 days in advance, just because by the time we have some pre-notes when you have advising, that kind of helps get us started and get the process going. And so if you take it kind of late, it takes a minute for the system to register your scores and then get it into our notes by that time. So if you could please try to get those in before a week before your date. We have all the proper documents to get you in the right classes and make sure that everything looks good. And then also, so you are encouraged to bring your own laptop. We do provide laptops for students, but if you can bring your own, it's always nice to log into your own personal laptop, get your info saved and stuff like that. It also does take a couple minutes to log in and out of students on our computers, but we always have them, so you will have that if you cannot bring a laptop. If you are doing a virtual appointment, it's a Zoom appointment. So Zooming works usually great on the laptop. We do ask that students share their screen when we're on a virtual appointment. So if it is usually easier to share your screen on a laptop. If you have to do it through your phone, we definitely work on it, and we can work on how to get your screen share going and make sure that you're signing up for the classes the right way. And so that's why that screen share factor is very important if you do pick that virtual appointment. Other than that, when you have your laptop, we'll go through it together and do it together. Provide any updated scores. I know a lot of AP scores are now coming in, and we just got them and we have a big bash. So if you have your scores kind of written down when you're here, it'll be really helpful for the academic advisor to make sure and go through and make sure all of them count and show you how they would show up on your degree audit, just in case by the time you get here for your appointment, they're not in the system, but we have that you got that 4 and we're going to move you forward and stuff like that. So same thing for placement exam. If in any case your placement exam doesn't show up, but you did take it and you know your score, we can work with that and sign you up for the proper classes. We hate to put someone in a lower class that you can be in English 106, but we put you in 105 and then we got to switch you last minute. So bringing all your updated scores. Another thing, I know we all talked about login information. So you've all logged into your portal. Once you pass the advising dates one, you're then going to be moved into a full student portal. And that means that your deposit is paid, you've signed up for advising. So your portal is going to look different than the Blue Jay Roost portal that you have. And so with that, if you could please try to log in to that new student portal at least a day before your advising appointments, that helps us, because if you have any IT issues at that moment, or forgotten passwords or anything, we can get you connected to IT really fast the day before. And then when you get here, we can just make sure that all of your passwords work and everything like that. So just playing around with the portal, making sure all your login info works, writing down all your security questions, and all that fun stuff. So that's all ready when you're here. How the day goes. So once you check in here, if it's in person, you'll check in, and then you'll be walked up to a room. You'll spend 30 minutes one-on-one. Again, it's just student and peer advisor, so no parents or anything like that. But you meet with your peer advisor. 9 times out of 10, your peer advisor will be the same major that you're interested in, that you have listed. Sometimes I've been moved around. I've been moved into biology. And so I'm a special ed major. So that kind of got silly, but sometimes it happens. Either way, we love to we all talk about the same things. And so we talk about, your interests. We talk about a little bit of campus. Your peer advisor will show you a little important things on your portal. And then we show you the key thing of how to register for classes. So self-service is where you go, and we talk about how it works, how you add classes to your cart. It's kind of like a shopping thing. So you add it to your cart and then you register it all in one. And we'll show you how all of that breaks down, how to find classes, what to do, how to look at which classes you need, and all that fun stuff. And then after that really fast 30 minutes goes by, because I promise you it's like a blink of an eye, we send you off to your academic advisor, who will go through the classes that we've picked together with your peer advisor and look at your schedule and make sure that everything looks good, 100% register you, and make sure there are no issues with the registering or anything like that. And then you're on your way down to the library, and you'll meet one of our orientation student leaders, who then walk through some more very important portal information, as well as important apps like alerts and different things that you need to sign up for. So it's a really fun, packed day. You do get a lot of freebies, which is always the best part of anything that happens on campus. You do get some snow cones if you're on campus, and all that fun stuff. If you're virtual, you are going to get a Zoom link. So everyone, whether it's in person or virtual, you will all get 2 sets of emails. One from your peer advisor with information on what to do before your actual appointments, and one from your academic advisor, who will tell you kind of what your courses are going to look like within your major. The other important thing is that if you are in a sport or anything like that, we have sports schedules. We work with you. If you know your work schedule, bring those things, bring those thoughts of things that you really want to make sure is important in your schedule, because this isn't, and the best part is it's not high school anymore. You have that flexibility. You have that flexibility of, I have to go to work at 6 p.m. I can't take that night class. What can you do for me? And we, the peer advisor, as well as the academic advisor, will work with you. Same thing goes for sports. This is your schedule. This is your 4 years here, and it's really shifting for you. So if you have track practice at 3:15, we find something that fits for you, that gets you academically, set, as well as, internally happy with the external things you want to do on campus. I said a lot of words right there. And so that's kind of how that goes when you're virtual. The email from your peer advisor is going to be the most important. So one of the biggest things I could ever put on this slide is please, please, please check your personal email that you have sent to the university, because you get a lot of communication through that. So that first email from your peer advisor has a very important Zoom link, and that Zoom link will take you straight to your peer advisor appointment and your academic advisor appointment. So you don't have to do 2 different Zoom links or anything. It's just one link, and we work with you and make sure everything goes well. And yeah, that is pretty much the breakdown of how the day goes. Like I said, 30 minutes goes by really fast when you're having fun. So it does go by fast, but we have contact information, you have all the support, and we'll make sure you're all registered and all set anytime, whenever you're here for advising. So yeah.
Amazing, amazing. Thank you for sharing that honest and, transparent experience as not only a peer advisor, but what it will look like on the flip side. So, folks, I hope you're taking notes, because HIPAA's sharing a lot of amazing insight here that you don't otherwise get until your actual advising appointment. So, yeah, definitely take all of this in. Like she said, check your emails, bring your laptop if if you have one. If not, that's okay. We obviously have tons for you to borrow, but bring your scores, share. Don't be afraid to share your schedule with us, because obviously we want to make sure we're accommodating you. That's the whole premise of this appointment, is to make sure you feel strong and confident with your schedule for this coming school year. So nice. Well done. Well done. And then this slide is mainly, I just wanted to highlight for anyone who does need to reschedule. Say you had an emergency that came up, or you can no longer commit to the appointment you initially signed up for. Please be sure to reschedule and do it as soon as possible. And I really, really want to emphasize, stick to the date you have, right? This is the first time in a really long time where we've had, an over capacity of advising dates and appointments, because we're luckily so happy to see such a large amount of a class to be entering this upcoming fall 2022. While that's great news, it also means, we have limited slots, and we have limited time and limited people to work with. So really commit to your advising date. And if you need to reschedule, please make sure that you're rescheduling because it's truly an emergency, right? It's not that, you need to, hopefully you can find some sort of support. If you need a dog sit or something like that, right? We can make something work there, but please make sure you are committing to your date, because these dates will go by really quick. As you can see, we're already halfway through, and I want to make sure you guys are all settled for your fall schedule. And then again, if you want to reschedule, email this email, which is new to eu@elmhurst.edu. So not us admission counselors, unfortunately, we do not handle any of the rescheduling. You have to, so if you want to take a picture right now, just for an emergency, take a picture of that email, save it, because that will be the email you will have to contact and say, hi, I am so-and-so, this is my e-number, I am requesting a rescheduling, so then they can work on that as soon as possible. Okay, moving on. How to sign up for an advising tutorial. This is a nice little tutorial that kind of shows you. So I'm going to go ahead and actually share my sound so you guys can see what that looks like.
Hey there, future Blue Jays. This is George Martinez, an admissions counselor here at Elmhurst University. And today I'm going to show you all how to RSVP for advising and registration. So advising and registration is the day that you'll either come to campus or you'll be in a Zoom with your faculty advisor, and that is when you pick your classes for the first semester here. So the way to do that is on your My Elmhurst student portal, you're going to see this advising RSVP button. Just click that and it'll bring you to another web page. This has some information just about our advising process. So some things to know is that the login is not going to be your e-number and your My Elmhurst student portal password. It's going to be the stuff from when you apply to the university. So this will be your personal email address and the password you used when you applied to Elmhurst. If you need help getting back into this account, you can always forget your password link and we'll reactivate the password for you. But what you'll do is you'll press this button here, RSVP for advising, and it'll bring you to a form. In this form, it'll ask you things such as your preferred days to come, There will be a list of dates. So the earlier you do it, the more dates you'll have to choose from until all the seats get filled for the day. So as days get filled, they will be taken off the availability sheet. So make sure that you RSVP sooner rather than later. And once you have this form in, that'll tell our faculty advisors that you are committed to Elmhurst and you're ready to come that day to pick your classes. So if you need to make sure that you take any of your placement tests, the writing, mathematics, or world language proficiencies, make sure that you take these tests at least 7 days before your advising date. This is everything that we have for getting ready to RSVP for advising.
Awesome. So again, George Martinez was just reiterating what we've already discussed. And then something new, obviously, that wasn't listed in this specific video was the Blue Jay Roost. So this is something fairly new that we incorporated a year ago. So again, you can sign up for your advising through your virtual Blue Jay Roost as well. So I find it a lot more efficient on there, but you can do it this way as well. But yeah, just kind of reiterating what we already kind of talked about.
Registration.
Then,
if you have any,
go ahead and move that to the next slide. At this time, I kind of want to open the floor to you all. I know I did a lot of talking, Hiba shared a lot of awesome insights, but I know we already have quite a few questions in the chat box, which is awesome. So for the next 5-ish minutes, we'll kind of go through all of your questions. So feel free to ask any questions you have about the advising process, how to sign up, testing, all that stuff. We'll go through your questions now. So the first one that I see, and I'm just going to move to this slide in case you guys want to contact us. Okay, I am a transfer student and I'm also bilingual. Are placement tests mandatory? Good question. So it truly just depends, right? It depends on your situation and depends on, especially as a transfer student, what courses you've already taken prior to coming to Elmhurst, because most likely you might not need to, but just double check with your admission counselor, transfer admission counselor, and to see, what courses or tests you will need to take. Can I change the date of my advising appointment? So like I said, there is that email, new2eu@elmhurst.edu, that you can email if you want to register or reschedule. But again, it's primarily for, emergencies. But again, if you truly can't find another time other than your initial set date, definitely email them so you can find another time. They're happy to help you set up another day. Another question somebody asked was, where do me and my parents sign up for housing, for staying in dorms? We've tried to online, but things seem to be complicated. Interesting. So Hiba, were you going to say something?
No, you can go first.
Okay. Yeah, and hopefully you can add on after this. But for housing, there is a housing application that you have to fill out, and it's on our website, so you can easily locate that. And in terms of dorms, and especially if you're going to be in a housing application, it's going to ask you if you want a single dorm or a double dorm, and if you do want a double dorm, list out your potential roommates. And if you don't know who the roommate is, that's okay. You can just fill out the survey. So there's a survey that you will fill out and be honest as possible on there, right? So if you're a night owl, mention that. If you're an early bird, mention that. If you love to listen to music nice and loud, please be sure to mention that, because then our housing office is going to do a great job in pairing you up with somebody who had a very similar survey, right? But yeah, Hiba, was there anything else you wanted to add to that?
Yeah, no, I was just gonna say, if you try to, I know on your portal, there is that My Housing thing, and that should take you to the application. I also did send in the chat the Housing and Res Life email and phone number if you do want to contact them, like if your application isn't going through or anything. But yeah, once you go in and it's a really quick application. It's more just like saying like your preferences, like we said, if you have a roommate or anything, and then the deposit and stuff. And I know there was actually another when will housing be announced? So for that one, housing is usually announced by mid to end July. So it should be coming out sometime this month. It's hidden for all students. So as of right now, it is hidden, but will be announced by mid to end July. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing that, Hiba. Hiba also, works as a CNA and has a lot of connections with Res Life. So she also has a lot of information that even us admission counselors don't know yet. So again, you guys are very lucky to be talking to Hiba today because she's got all the latest news here on campus. So yeah, hopefully Res Life will release that your housing, your options or your where you're listed hall wise and who your roommates are going to be and all that good stuff. So if you already got it done, awesome. You can take a breather, you can take a seat and wait for that announcement. So awesome. Great question. What else? So I got a confirmation email for my advising date, but when I try to go and take the placement test, they don't pop up. Is there a reason for that? Did you by any chance, so oftentimes if you just RSVP for advising, that could be a reason why, right? Because sometimes our database is just processing that you are, you just signed up for advising. So it has to get to the advising office first. And once they've confirmed and seen that, then you should be able to see your placement exam. So if you freshly sign up for advising, that could probably be why. So wait for a day or two. And if you still don't see the placement test, please go ahead and give advising a phone call or shoot them an email because then they can help you, bring all those tests up so you can quickly take those as soon as possible. So great question, great question. Does a later advising date affect the classes I get? Ooh, that's a really good question. So obviously all of these advising dates that we have set are, even the latest one, right? August 23rd, that's just 6 days before the first day of classes. The great thing about college is that there are multiple classes available for one specific subject, right? So it's not like high school where, there's only one global history course and only 30 seats available. No, we have numerous English courses, numerous FYS courses, and all that good stuff. And the great thing about being a freshman is that it's okay if you don't get the class that you want your first semester, right? You are just a freshman. You have so many more semesters and years ahead of you to sign up for the courses that you want. But for the most part, you're going to end up choosing and selecting the courses that you need to graduate, right? There's not a single course that we offer here at Elmhurst that doesn't count towards your degree, right? It's going to fulfill as a gen ed, a major, or an elective. So something you're going to eventually take no matter what. So, you might not get your perfect schedule at the very, if you select, have your advising date at the very last day of class, but it's still going to be, beneficial. Hiba, did you want to add anything to that at all?
Yeah, that was pretty much it. And something nice is that when we have sections that will open up later, the caps, I mean, if you go in right now, it may look a little like, oh my God, nothing's open. But as the dates come in, advising will open the caps or open new class options. So once you get here, you'll see that we have more options listed for you. And that's the important thing is that, if you come in with a really set schedule sometimes, be okay to be flexible because anything you take will be helpful. I mean, even if you have to take science right now and English next semester, that's okay because you're going to have to take everything at some point, and it'll still be fun and it's still going to be effective. So it's okay if you don't get that super strict schedule that you think you have to do, because we make sure that you'll get everything in at some point.
Yeah. Awesome. Great. I am going to stop the recording, but I'm going to continue to answer the last couple additional questions as we kind of close things out. So let me stop the recording.